Hello, my name is Rosemary Blash, and I wanted to come on and tell you a little bit about Cambly, which is an online tutoring service of sorts. I did a little bit of a tutorial on Cambly a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to come back on and just give you some additional information. This is my profile picture, and this is actually a video that sort of introduces myself to students, and it gives them an opportunity to hear me, and I share a little bit about myself so they're able to get to know me a little bit. Every tutor does that, along with providing some information in their profile, and mine's pretty basic, but this allows students to come on and review tutors and see who they may be interested in working with. The thing that I like about Cambly is that this is basically how you set yourself up. You do put together your own profile. You put the information that you want to share. So you, of course, don't share anything that would be that you would not be comfortable, for the world to see, because this goes worldwide. But I did put, my professional background, and gave a little bit of my personality, and just mentioned that I'm kind but patient, and gave them an idea of what I could help them with. And as I mentioned, people from all over the world are very interested in learning how to speak English, and one of the big things for someone who is learning a foreign language is that practice is pretty critical in order to become fluent. You can take a class, as I'm sure you all remember from your high school foreign language classes. You can take that class and do well, but if you are not practicing, then you're really not going to be a fluent speaker in that native language for the most part. You really need the opportunity to practice as much as possible in order to become proficient in that particular language, and that's really true for people across the board. So there are people that are wanting to learn English, but they don't have the opportunity to speak to native English speakers, and so they're hindered. They don't have the chance to really practice. So Cambly gives them that opportunity. Now, for the tutor, the people that are actually providing the service, you definitely won't get rich by being a Cambly tutor, but it works out to be a little bit more than $10 an hour, and that is, you can definitely determine what your weekly salary will be, or your weekly pay will be, based upon how much you tutor. And one of the things that Cambly does suggest is that you start out, particularly if you're new, you start out by going and doing priority hours. And I'm going to see if I can show you what that looks like. Sometimes when I log in, it actually logs me in as a student, but the tutors have priority hours, and the priority hours, those are hours that are I believe Cambly has an idea of really the amount of students that are interested in hopping on and talking to a native English speaker. As you can see here, I did an hour, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, and this line just kind of keeps a track of where we are as far as the time goes. So it's nearly 12 o'clock. I completed an hour today. I have the option, as you can see, I did book the 4 o'clock hour, 5 o'clock hour, and the 7 o'clock hour. This is all today, Monday, October 30th. So it looks like they've not put any additional priority hours up for the rest of the day. There may they may pop in even as the day goes on. But even though there's no particular, you don't see this little ad, the ghosted out ad down here, I could, if I wanted to, at 9 o'clock, even though there's no priority hour, I can go on and I just wait to see if someone might pop on and want to speak to a tutor. So the nice thing about the priority hours is you are guaranteed to be paid for 15 minutes. So there may be someone that hops on for maybe 5 minutes. Maybe they're a free trial person, so they hop on for 5 minutes. Maybe that's the only call that you get for that hour. They will add, Cambly will add 9 minutes onto that, 10 minutes. 10 minutes, so that you'll get paid for 15 minutes. And so I think it's like, really breaks down to about 17 cents a minute, but that works out to be about a little bit more than $10 an hour if you actually tutor for the hour. So if you are in the priority hour and you talk with someone, maybe 2 people, and just for that hour, maybe you've talked for 20 minutes, then you've got your 15 minutes plus 5. So in other words, they're not going to give you another 15 minutes during that hour, but they do guarantee a minimum of 15 minutes if you sign up for priority hours. Priority hours, if you do sign up, that does mean, so for example, here where I've committed to this hour at 4 o'clock, that means I need to be here on the computer ready to talk, ready to receive tutors. They will also kind of push your profile out there so that if you've committed to those to that hour, then you kind of are ahead of somebody who's just sitting on Cambly waiting for a tutor or waiting for a student to need a tutor. So you're sort of first dibs, and they do have a rating system. They have asked the students to rate the tutors based on the interaction. A lot of students want the correction. They want their English corrected. They want their pronunciation corrected, because they really do a lot. Some people are interested in going back to school, so they might be studying the IELTS or the TOEFL. They may be interested in improving themselves, maybe going for a higher paying job, either where they live or maybe in the United States. A lot of people have traveled. There's students that have hopped on from various countries, so they may actually be in the United States, but they're still working on improving their English. So when you are doing your best and you're friendly and you're allowing them to talk and really providing a good service, you're going to have a pretty good rating, and that rating is going to give you the opportunity to do more priority hours, and the priority hours will also help you with getting more stable students. So in other words, they would be able to actually make a reservation with you if they've really connected with you and you've done a good job, and you can give them a little link with your information, so that if they are interested in signing up, making a reservation with you, they'll have the information and they can sign up with you, and you then will know, okay, well at 2 o'clock or whatever time works for both of you, then you have that reservation time. So I just clicked my reservation URL, and I can cut and paste this, and this can actually go into the chat, and every student that hops on, there's a chat that you could actually use to communicate with them. I sent a little note to one of the people that I was speaking with and just said, was glad to talk with them, and I put in my a referral. This is a little bit different than the reservation, but I was inviting them to, if they had friends that wanted or they could use Cambly, the students also can get free minutes when they refer someone. And then also that I could have put my little link in there for reservations. So that's kind of nice to be able to sort of set things up in terms of reservations. They can definitely make a reservation with you, and you'll have opportunity to confirm. So if the time doesn't work, you can make an adjustment. There's lots of resources that you would be able to use. This is an example of phrases that students would benefit from learning. Lots of different ways to use I'm, the explanation of I'm in as opposed to I'm at, and there's several examples, and this is actually audio of this lesson. There is also other materials that you can take advantage of. There are people that might be coming on wanting help with writing a resume or even just writing a paper. There's materials here that you can actually use, as well as your own expertise, as well as even going on the internet, other areas in the internet, and pulling up materials that would be helpful. There are articles that you can use to start a conversation. I've actually worked with some people that wanted to talk about a specific article, and they read the article, and I was able to help with pronunciation, and we were able to go back and talk, and I was able to make sure that they understood what the article was saying, or if they had any questions, I was able to answer the questions. Again, here are some other resources that you would have access to as a tutor. So there are a lot of things that you can actually use. This is an example of some conversation starters. Sometimes people that come on Cambly, they may be very talkative, and you may not have to say much at all. And that's fine, because you really want to give that person the opportunity to talk. You may give them some pointers again on pronunciation or phrases, but the more that the person talks a bit, the better it is for them. And also, if they're maybe not so talkative, you can use a lot of different questions to get the conversation going. And you might even think of some on your own, and that's fine. A lot of times I've talked with people that maybe are not very confident, and they just need a little bit of prompting. So I was able to ask them maybe about recipes that they really liked, or if they enjoyed cooking. How do you prepare that particular meal, and it gets them conversing. So there are different anchors that you can use to help you as you are a tutor, as you're tutoring students. So there's a wide variety of things. I don't know if you noticed, but I think that just popped up. The 1 p.m. slot just popped up, so I could book that time, or somebody else may come in and get it. And I'm not sure how many, there may be 5 or 10 1 p.m. slots that have opened up, but it is definitely, you can schedule your time, and I've got several times that I have booked over the course of a few days. You also have, when you go into your dashboard, you have opportunity to take a 5-minute break per hour. So, and you're going to need that, especially if you're doing a lot of tutoring. You might need to just take a break, and it's good also. They do suggest that you give yourself time to be able to get up from the computer and go eat a meal or rest, because it can be intense in terms of talking for that amount of time. Because it takes a certain level of energy to be able to actually talk and converse and really engage with with folks that are coming online for help. These videos are also very good because, and there are several that you can use. One is how to keep the conversation going, what those corrections will look like. Cambly does suggest every 5 minutes that you give a student corrections. So when you're doing that, they feel like they're, really gotten some good information from you. It's very good in terms of just feeling, letting that student know that you are listening and providing really beneficial feedback. And this is a great video that shows how to break the ice, and the tutors actually letting the student know that there are a couple of questions, and the tutors actually modeling for the student on how to answer those questions. And this is a video on a particular topic that the student and the tutor are actually discussing. So you can see that the tutor's taking some time and connecting with the student, and the student is going to read a little bit about the article, and then they'll talk about the article. So there are several best practices videos that you can use. The perfect trial. The trial is the free trial, usually about 5 minutes, that someone can take advantage of, and you can tell them about Cambly and tell them about the referral process, and let them get to know how you would interact with them. And then there's different tips that some of the top tutors have given, how to build a base of regulars. As I mentioned, they can definitely make reservations. So and how to make those corrections, and also Cambly does have a body of literature in their tutor guide that lets you know some of the different cultural differences that you might encounter when you are tutoring, because as I said, you are going to meet people from all over the world, and that's kind of cool because you'll get to meet folks and get familiar with different cultures, and get maybe a little bit of perspective on what other people from around the world think of the United States. Usually they're very, very nice. There is a little button on the screen when you are tutoring that allows you to, if there's a problem, it allows you to ban that student, and disconnects you, so you don't have to worry about anything inappropriate, and that keeps Cambly safe and clean and pleasant to work on. So that's Cambly. I would encourage you, if you're interested in doing something for a few extra bucks, if you have some spare time, it's a great way to make a little extra money. I've been doing Cambly for about 2.5 or 3 months, and I like the fact that it is something, even though I don't know exactly how many priority hours may be available during the day, there's no guarantee that you're going to have students coming on needing a tutor, but my experience has been thus far that when I commit to an hour, I'm going to have at least one, maybe two calls. So I'm pretty sure that I'm going to, at least get the 15 minutes in. Most of the time, I'm there for the solid hour, and it's pretty full. And you would get paid through PayPal. They pay once a week. They pay on Monday afternoons. They're based out of, I believe, I think the company is actually paying. They're coming from the West Coast. So by early afternoon or early evening, they've dumped in whatever I've earned for that previous week, and even whatever I have done in terms of like a Monday morning. That gets dumped into my PayPal account, And you know, if maybe you're working on a particular bill, you want to know that you have, you know, 50, 60, maybe $100 a month or a week to put towards that bill. Cambly is a good way to do that. I think it's a very cool work at home opportunity. So thank you for listening. Please consider doing Cambly, and if you do, I will put a link. I'll put my referral information there, and you can. It'd be great if you would like to use my referral link. I will get. It's kind of like an affiliate situation. So I would get. It's like it says you get paid $20 for every referral who tutors at least 10 priority hours on Cambly, and that's something that you would be able to do also. So you might want to share this with your friends or family looking for a few extra bucks. You know, so thank you for listening, and I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment or a question in the chat. So thanks again, and have a great day.